Honey is a versatile ingredient that has been used for centuries not just as a sweetener, but also as a natural remedy for many health problems. It is rich in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and enzymes that promote good health. Can you tell us about some specific health benefits of honey?
Sure, honey has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties that help in treating wounds, sore throat, and cough. It can also boost immunity, aid digestion, and soothe the nerves. Honey has a low glycemic index, which means it does not spike blood sugar levels like regular sugar. This makes it a great option for people with diabetes or those looking to reduce their sugar intake.
Wow, those are some impressive benefits. How do you use honey in your recipes?
Honey can be used in both sweet and savory dishes to add a unique flavor and a touch of sweetness. It pairs well with cheeses, fruits, nuts, and spices. I use honey in salad dressings, marinades, glazes, and desserts.
That's great, Chef. Do you have any tips for people who want to incorporate honey into their diet?
Yes, I recommend using raw and organic honey as it contains all the natural enzymes and nutrients. You can also replace sugar with honey in your tea, coffee, and other beverages. And always remember to use honey in moderation as it is still a form of sugar.
Sleeping rough. People sleeping, about to bed down, sitting on, in or standing next to their bedding, or bedded down in the open air, such as on the streets, in tents, doorways, parks, bus shelters or encampments, people in buildings or other places not designed for habitation, such as stairwells, barns, sheds, car parks, cars, derelict boats, stations, or bashes. The definition does not include people in hostels or shelters, people in campsites or other sites used for recreational purposes or organized protest, squatters or travelers. Social housing. Social homes are provided by housing associations, not-for-profit organizations that own, let, and manage rented housing, or a local council. Intersectionality is an analytic sensibility, a way of thinking about identity and its relationship to power. Originally articulated on behalf of black women, the term brought to light the invisibility of many constituents within groups that claim them as members but often fail to represent them, as single-axis approaches towards the inequalities of gender or race fail to recognize the complexity of social structures and subjective experiences.
Depression and anxiety are two prevalent mental health disorders that can have a significant impact on a person's daily life, relationships, and overall well-being.
Yes, that's right. Depression is characterized by feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and a loss of interest in activities one used to enjoy. Anxiety, on the other hand, is characterized by excessive worry, fear, and a feeling of being on edge.
While depression and anxiety have different symptoms, they often occur together. In fact, research suggests that about 50% of people with depression also have an anxiety disorder, and vice versa.
This can make treatment more complex, and it's important for mental health professionals to conduct a thorough assessment to identify both disorders in their patients.
Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is commonly used to treat depression and anxiety. CBT helps individuals identify negative thought patterns and replace them with more positive ones. It can also teach coping strategies and relaxation techniques to manage anxiety symptoms.
In addition to therapy, medication can also be helpful for some individuals. Antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications are commonly used, but it's important to work closely with the healthcare provider to determine the best course of treatment and to monitor for any side effects.
Lifestyle changes can also help manage symptoms of both depression and anxiety. Regular exercise, a healthy diet, and stress management techniques like mindfulness and yoga can be beneficial.
Spanish language RW. If after years of Spanish classes, some people still find it impossible to understand some native speakers, they should not worry. This does not necessarily mean the lessons were wasted. Millions of Spanish speakers use neither standard Latin American Spanish nor Castilian, which predominate in U.S. schools. The confusion is partly political. The Spanish-speaking world is very diverse. Spanish is the language of 19 separate countries and Puerto Rico. This means that there is no one standard dialect. The most common Spanish dialect taught in the U.S. is Standard Latin American. It is sometimes called Highland Spanish since it is generally spoken in the mountainous areas of Latin America while each country retains its own accents and has some unique vocabulary. Residents of countries such as Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia generally speak Latin American Spanish, especially in urban centers. This dialect is noted for its pronunciation of each letter and its strong R sounds. This Spanish was spoken in Spain in the 16th and 17th centuries and was brought to the Americas by the early colonists. However, the Spanish of Madrid and of northern Spain, called Castilian, developed characteristics that never reached the New World. A Civil War reenactment is in part a memorial service. It is partly, too, a leisure activity. Furthermore, most reenactors assert an educational import to the performance, and to develop their roles many pursue archival research with a rare dedication. On the other hand, Civil War reenactments are increasingly commercial spectacles, with as many as 50,000 Americans routinely gathering at or near historical Civil War battlefields in order to stage performances that purport to recreate the conflict, while hundreds of thousands more spectate. I will show how theoretical issues of authenticity arise as practical problems in the Civil War reenactment community by presenting my own observations from the 2006 Gettysburg reenactment and by relying on a number of texts produced by participant observers. In particular, I will refer to Robert Lee Hodge, who was made famous by Tony Horwitz's 1996 book, Confederates in the Attic, and who served as a kind of Virgil to the author on his journey through a Confederate Valhalla. From these sources I will argue that, living history, performances require an interpretive apparatus that takes genuine history as its authority, while remaining external to both participants and tourists, who may well be unaware of how closely their own involvement approximates genuine historical events.